Hey there guys, and happy whatever day it is that you're watching this video. And first and foremost, welcome to season 2 of Today I Brewed. I have taken a little break, and I said I would, but I did say the reason I took that break is because I wanted to do other videos and do other stuff, which noticeably I have not done. But the reason I kind of didn't do those videos is because I actually finished writing my book, which is now, if you want to buy it, available on Amazon. And that's kind of why I didn't do the videos. But you know what, I'm happy I finished it, and now I can get back to coffee stuff. So if you're interested, it's called In Search of the Last Guardian. But let's focus on the coffee stuff now. I have got a pretty special treat today. And the next few coffees that I'll be talking about are ones that I brought from the London Coffee Festival last month. So they were all kind of freshly roasted around that time. And they've had time to settle and kind of do what they need to do. And they are going to taste amazing. So, we're going to start with this, a delicious little puppy right here, from Manhattan Coffee Roasters. And as you all know, it's a roaster that I really enjoy. So I'm super excited to talk about it today. So, as per usual, kick back, get yourselves a coffee, relax, and welcome to season 2 of Today I Brewed. Like I've just said, Manhattan Coffee Roasters is a roaster that I really love, and a lot of the coffees that I've had over the years from Manhattan have been spectacular, and nothing short really. And this one today is absolutely no exception. In fact, this coffee is so good it is in their exceptional range, and when I tried it, I didn't try it at London Coffee Festival. I actually just saw the bag, read the tasting notes and thought, that sounds like something that I'm really going to enjoy. And, well, it has been. So, let's talk about it. Let's find out why this coffee is so delicious. Firstly, it is a Colombian. And it's grown in the region of El Tambo in Cauca, Colombia. And the farmer, whose farm is El Paraíso, is Diego Bermudez. You know my pronunciation for these names is terrible. But the coffee itself, it's of the Castillo variety, and it's grown at an altitude of about 1,800 meters above sea level. The process is perhaps the most interesting thing, because it's an anaerobic thermal shock process. And I don't think I've had one before that is a combination of the two. I've had both, but not together, I don't think. But, you know, why does that make it so interesting? So, thermal shock has been around for a while now. Like it's new in terms of the scale of process, but it's not like brand new anymore. But it's interesting because the way it works is, or for certain batches, the coffee beans are selected carefully, so we're kind of getting the best of the best, bunch really. And then the coffee is rapidly cooled to, I believe, anywhere between -50 degrees Celsius and -80 degrees Celsius. And then it's quickly brought back up to temperatures around 30 degrees Celsius and 60 degrees Celsius. So it's a rapid cooling and then kind of a reheating type of thing. It's like the opposite of when you do milk, when you kind of heat it to a super high temperature for a few seconds and then bring it back down to cool it off, so it's kind of doing its thing. But what adds to the interest of this is the anaerobic part. Now we know that the anaerobic fermentation is fermenting without oxygen. But for this one, the farmer Diego, what he does is he specifically finds local microorganisms, and he chooses them carefully and then kind of puts them in for the fermentation process. So because they're local to the area, and what I'm trying to figure out, and I think I've got it, is because the microorganisms are local to the area and in the same area as the coffee, it has a more positive effect on the fermentation process itself, rather than leaving the fermentation to kind of generate random microorganisms that may or may not increase the flavour and profile of the coffee. I think I've got that right. But you know what? It tastes good. So I'm gonna trust Diego in that what he does is the right thing to do. But this coffee was roasted on the 29th of March. So we're just over a month after roast, which for me is kind of perfect coffee tasting time. I know we can kind of drink it after a week or so, but for me a little bit longer is more preferable. And yeah, that's just me. Others might prefer it a different way, but this kind of time gap right here is, for me, a great place to drink coffee. But the tasting notes on this one are kind of what drew me in. And it's raspberry, Turkish delight, and lychee, which is a fabulous combination. Well, if you like Turkish delight, of course, and raspberry and lychee. Otherwise, you'll hate it. Yeah. Tasting notes are individual. But I do want to point out just how good this packaging looks. You can definitely tell there's been great care in presenting this well, and the bag is just magnificent. It just looks wonderful, like really kind of well represented of the coffee that's inside. So let's talk about it. Let's kind of go into the brew process and kind of find out how it did. So I've done this on a few different grind sizes and achieved similar results in the brew. But on this one, I've done it on a grind size of, I believe, 24 on my X54. And with this, there was a more, the aroma was definitely more Turkish delight. But not just the delight itself, but the kind of powdery sugar on the outside. There was such a sweetness in the aroma, but it was so bright, it was so vibrant, which I'm definitely guessing is coming from the raspberry. I didn't particularly get any of the lychee there in the grind, but just the Turkish delightness and the raspberry was perfect. It was so, colourful is probably a great word I can use. But it was exciting, so exciting just to know, this coffee is going to be fantastic, and I've not even put any water on it. But then when it came to the brew, and as you'll see, I've done the WDT during the first bloom, just to kind of get out some clumps and kind of open it up a bit more. But during that, and whether it was because of the WDT or not, I don't know. But that is where the lychee really started to come out. Like I love lychee, and it was so clear. Like it was bright. It was a perfect addition to the Turkish Delight and the raspberry, and it gave it such, I kind of want to say tropical. I know when we think of tropical, we think of other flavors, but it felt tropical in the aroma, and that raspberry was still there. It was crisp. It was, what's the word you would use for raspberry? I want to say sharp, but not too sharp, like a fresh raspberry that you can bite into. And then kind of underneath that was that sweetness of the Turkish Delight, but still full of flavor, and that powdery sugar was still there in the aroma. And I think this took a little bit longer, I'd say about 5 or so minutes. But that is because I did grind it for my V60, and then I realized I ran out of V60 papers, so I've used it for a Chemex. So I'm going to blame, rather than my terrible foresight, that it's the grind size on the Chemex. But that's all an aside. So what does it taste like? How is it here now? Well, let's find out. Let's get the brew going. So on the aroma there, we've definitely got a lot of the Turkish Delight, and you can smell the jelliness of it, and that sugar again is coming wonderfully through. And underneath that, more subtly, is the lychee. It's bright, it's crisp, like it's kind of reminds me of like lychee fizzy drink, like Rubicon, but the lychee version. And then right at the bottom, kind of completing the package there of aromas, is the raspberry. But it smells delicious. It smells like an exceptional coffee. So let's give it a taste. Let's give it a whirl. Delicious. It's very clean on the mouth. It's got such a smooth body to it. It's light. It moves around really easily, and the flavors are just popping. Like the Turkish Delight is first and foremost. Like it is literally sitting in my mouth. And then underneath that is the raspberry, bringing that sharpness and crispness. It's so fresh. And then the kind of lychee is just there at the bottom, like rounding off the whole flavor profile. The Turkish Delight is definitely lingering, like just sitting nicely on the back of my tongue, but the finish is really clean. Like it's almost as if I've just put Turkish Delight in my mouth. That really is an exceptional cup. Like, and the thing is, when I bought it, I knew it would be. And I believe this is still available on the website at the time of filming. You know, whether it will be when the video is uploaded, who the hell knows? But it's a brilliant cup. You know, I think I will say this about Thermal Shock, and at first I did think it was initially a bit of a fad. Like coffee processes kind of come and go, don't they? And I think with Thermal Shock, my first thought was, oh gosh, another process. But the more of them I've drank, and the more I've begun to understand the process of Thermal Shock, and as well with the fermentations, and I've spoken about this in previous videos, but with the Thermal Shock, the enhancement on clarity is just unbelievable. There is most certainly a difference in the coffee itself, and not just the enhancement of the profile, but it's clean. It feels fresh to drink, and I suppose because of the hard work that goes into it, it would have to taste good, right? Who knows? That's my assumption. But the difference is day and night. You know, if side by side it'd be easy to tell the difference, I think. And I think it just blows my mind when I drink coffee this good that I wonder sometimes how I haven't drank this already. It's an exceptional cup, and you can tell it's roasted well. There's just so much there, you know. And I would happily drink this for the rest of my life. And I'm going to put it out there. I know we're in May. This is front runner for one of the best coffees of the year. Will it still be there in December? Well, we'll find out. But for a starter for season 2, this is incredible. And hopefully you can feel my excitement. But this is fantastic. And if you get a chance to try it, I certainly recommend that you do, because you will not be disappointed. But I'm going to go enjoy this. Well, for as long as I can before I finish it. But that's kind of it. The other videos that I've promised will be up at some point. Now I've got more time to do stuff. But in terms of today, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming back for season 2. And hopefully I can share more delicious coffees with you. So if you haven't yet got a coffee, go get yourselves one. Relax and just enjoy the day. And thank you for joining me for the first episode of season 2 of Today I Brewed.